read the fine print in your health insurance policy. You may be surprised by some of the terms, especially if you get seriously hurt and expect an insurance settlement. A South Dakota motorcyclist found that out the hard way.
DJ Toczek is a teacher and coach who was hit on a Wyoming interstate in 2017 by a man who was high, drunk, and running from the law. Toczek suffered a traumatic brain injury, broken back, and other broken bones and injuries.
In tonight's KELOLAND News investigation, Angela Kennecke shows you how Toczek is fighting back against efforts by his health insurance company to take away his auto insurance settlement, and why he believes South Dakota law is on his side.
On July 8th, 2017, DJ Toczek took a motorcycle ride across the state line into Wyoming to see Devil's Tower.
I remember getting on the on-ramp, and then it just went, and it's gone. I don't remember anything after that.
At the same time Toczek was on the interstate, Christopher Nessius was fleeing from police, drunk, high on meth, going 100 miles per hour.
He comes up from behind, rear ends me. When he hit me, they think that I flew up onto the pickup. I flew off the bike, up onto the pickup, rode the pickup to the ditch, and then rolled off the pickup and rolled and rolled and rolled.
Toczek doesn't remember anything until waking up in the hospital 16 days later.
I could feel something pushing on my chest and my whole body convulsing. And I could hear a man yelling at me, DJ, wake up, DJ, you gotta breathe. If you wanna live, you gotta breathe. And then I instantly took a gasp of breath, and it was like a light switch turned on.
Toczek had a host of broken bones and shattered vertebrae in his neck.
The worst injury I suffered was a very severe traumatic brain injury, which is the highest level of brain injury that you can suffer.
Nessius was sentenced to up to 23 years in prison for aggravated assault and causing serious bodily harm while driving under the influence. Nessius didn't have any insurance and was ordered to pay more than $330,000 in restitution to Toczek, but doesn't have any money. However, Toczek was able to collect $350,000 from his own uninsured motorist coverage. He went on to Craig Hospital in Denver for brain injury rehabilitation. His Wellmark health insurance, provided through the New Underwood School District, where he was a teacher, covered his medical bills at a cost of $332,000. DJ went back to teaching part-time in New Underwood just 6 months after that catastrophic crash. However, 3 months later, New Underwood let him go.
I cursed twice in class.
At a student?
No, one was at a student and one was not. And again, apologized.
Do you attribute that behavior to your brain injury?
I do. So as a result of that day, I suffered from PTSD and depression.
Toczek was without an income and a new dad. Then he did something completely unexpected.
Decided, I was just going to take 2 years off, get my master's, and focus on let my brain heal.
How does someone with a brain injury get their master's degree?
I have been asked that a lot, and honestly, I don't know.
He may not know how he did it, but Toczek has come farther than anyone expected. He landed a new job teaching at Bennett County School District.
You're going to be the gunner.
This former college athlete is also the athletic director and football coach.
How was the first day, Alex?
But that doesn't mean his life has returned to normal.
As you look at me, you can't hardly tell. I mean, there's scars on my hand, but otherwise you can't hardly tell that I suffered a brain injury and that I'm wounded. The pain's every day, all day. It still hasn't ended.
Are you in pain right now?
Yeah, my neck and my shoulder.
Toczek needs more surgeries, and his future medical bills are expected to run more than $400,000. He can't touch the $350,000 he got from his auto insurance company because Rawlings, a Kentucky collection agency, has placed a lien on it on behalf of Wellmark.
He's not even out of the hospital. We don't even know if he's going to live, and they're already saying you have to pay us back for this.
Roger Barron is a retired law professor who specializes in subrogation cases. Subrogation is an insurer's right to recover the amount that it has paid for a loss from a third party that caused the loss. Collection agencies like Rawlings work on behalf of insurance companies and have turned it into a $2.5 billion business.
Subrogation is a way of helping hold down insurance premiums. It's a way of making sure that the party responsible for the loss is actually the one held culpable, and it also prevents a double recovery.
It's written in there that they have the right to go after anybody that injured you or any payment you might receive from any source, including your own separate insurance.
To be honest, it's confusing to me because it's not their money. It doesn't have anything to do with them. You know, it was given to me as a result of a wreck way based off me having insurance on my motorcycle.
Toczek has filed a civil lawsuit against the New Underwood School District because, while it is administered by Wellmark, the health plan is self-funded by the district.
I talked to the superintendent. She visited with all the board members. They had no idea that they were going after this money from DJ, and they said, we don't want the money back. They told us that point blank. They don't want the money back.
The New Underwood School District declined to comment for this story. But Barron believes South Dakota law will prevail in Toczek's favor because he is a victim of a crime.
Up to now, there's not been any court look at it or anything. We've been caught up in the bureaucracy of the insurance industry.
According to South Dakota law, any victim who has suffered pecuniary damages has priority of claim.
Of course, this health plan is claiming that they have the right to be repaid. And in their document, they give themselves the right to repay. But in that criminal statute, it says that he has a priority over that. In other words, DJ comes first, not his health insurance company.
Attorney Gary Wickert, who is a leading expert on insurance subrogation, says a South Dakota Supreme Court case found that insurance companies can be victims too.
I mean, they're both victims. One happens to have a little more compassion on his side because he's just an innocent kid driving on his motorcycle. There is a case out there which says that the group health plan would also be a victim.
Barron disagrees that subrogation is used by insurance companies to keep costs for policyholders from rising.
And it goes to profit, and it goes to things like executive compensation, corporate greed.
Toczek says there are plenty of expenses involved in just getting to his follow-up appointments at Craig in Denver, and says he needs the money not only for himself, but his 3-year-old daughter, Avery.
In the swinging monkey bars, ready, reach out. She might have a father that's going to be, in a wheelchair at one point, or using a walker at a young age, or using a cane. She's the one that's going to be affected by it as much as myself.
Do you feel re-victimized by the insurance company?
You definitely feel like the little man in a scenario. Like, you don't matter, and that, that's why you have insurance, is they're supposed to, be there for you.
You'll never be the DJ that you were before this happened.
No, not at all. A lot of people would say I would be better. I've learned more. I've came so much farther than what I was before. I'm more sympathetic and understanding than I used to be. But, I definitely lost a good chunk of myself on that day.
You're winning!
We attempted to get Wellmark's side of the story multiple times, but our messages were never returned. We also reached out to Rawlings, who's trying to collect the money and would get 20% of it, but we haven't heard back. No court date has been set yet in Toczek's civil suit against the New Underwood School District.